Hey everybody, it is Justin, your guide into Arbitrum, and if you guys haven't been paying attention, Treasure Dad just posted this update that, of course, Arbitrum is the home of gaming, and first of all, the Arbitrum Gaming Catalyst Program tally vote is now live, and if this passes, 200 million Arbitrum will be unlocked to invest into Arbitrum games. And this will be the largest program that the DAO will have ever funded and one of the biggest in Web3. So, pause. That's like $200 million plus dollars, whatever the price of Arbitrum is. And we're going to break down what that means for the ecosystem right now. We'll go into the tally. We'll kind of see what it means and we'll see how it's going. So right off the bat, it'll pull us over to the tally, which is for the basically to catalyze the gaming ecosystem growth on Arbitrum. And it's about 25 million votes away from quorum. And currently, I think it's very likely going to pass with the majority of, well, okay, there's like 23% participation rate. But so far, it looks like it's going to pass with 75 million votes in favor thus far. So what does that mean? So this proposal was completed after a successful snapshot temp check for the Arbitrum DAO. Let me actually zoom in so you guys can probably read it with me. To empower gaming with a 3-year, $200 million, well, actually more like 270 million, goal of powering the Arbitrum gaming ecosystem with the best studios and games in the Web3 industry. That's pretty freaking massive, guys. That's pretty massive. So, let's kind of break down how this is going to fund things. So, this temp check showcased the enthusiasm to support Web3 gaming, but also revealed important questions to answer when launching an ambitious multi-year plan requiring not only a strong team to run the program, but transparent, flexible collaboration between many stakeholders. So they're basically creating a gaming catalyst program. So this is going to focus on expanding awareness and adoption of the Arbitrum/Orbit stylus by builders and players in the gaming community. So, again, Arbitrum has emerged as a leader in the competitive network race through the dynamic formula of innovation, tech, and organic builders with incentives, of course. And they kind of go over how they are bringing value back to the DAO with other stakeholders such as Off-Chain Labs, Ethereum, and the TAM for DeFi has surged to 50 billion and is projected to surge over 120 billion by 2030, with Arbitrum leading the way. So, just to break it down a little bit more here, we believe that the same opportunity exists to attract the best builders that will in turn create sticky, high-quality games that will bring and retain new users to Arbitrum. And the gaming vertical has a $250 billion TAM today that is projected to grow to 500 billion plus by 2030. These are, by all means, not small numbers. So, though the Web3 plus games segment of today's TAM is relatively small, it's poised to grow exponentially by this decade. So, several L1s and L2s see this opportunity, most notably Solana, Cardano, Optimism, Immutable, or Opstack, and then, some to name a few, are moving to claim the builders with grants and investments. So, Layer 2 wars, hello? Feels like things are getting kind of competitive right now. So they kind of go over the hypothesis here, but let's just kind of break down what they're doing. So essentially what they want to do, they want to offer support, incentives, and game industry specific tools so Arbitrum can position itself as an attractive platform for game development, leading to a surge in high quality gaming experiences on the network. So, what does that mean? So we are asking the DAO to earmark 200 million Arbitrum over a 3-year period to expand the gaming ecosystem and establish the network as the top choice for game builders across the landscape, right? And I remember reading this forum. I almost did a video on this exactly. And they kind of talked about the trends. I'm actually moving over to the forum in the Arbitrum Foundation, where they kind of talked about the growth over time, but they had a couple of graphs that I did use a video on from Game 7 research, showing that Arbitrum was about 7th in terms of the number of Web3 games per blockchain ecosystem. So in terms relative to the other 7, I mean, I don't really know what's happening on, Binance chain, but, Polygon, Ethereum mainnet, save anybody paying gas fees on Ethereum mainnet, as well as Solana and Immutable and Avalanche. These ones remain the top 6 above Arbitrum. So in terms of growth, I think that, this 200 million catalyst is probably going to maybe change the maybe change the rankings just a little bit. But outside of that, they kind of go over things like the Web3 games per layer 2 ecosystem. And in this case, as a layer 2, Arbitrum sits at number 2, right after Immutable. And then additionally, they kind of go over active games per non-EVMs, which includes Solana, Immutable X, Wax, and so forth. And then also game migrations as well. So what this is going to do is incentivize people to build on Arbitrum. So where is that money going to go? Where is that going to earmark to? So they kind of go over, the more details with regards to, the committees and how things are going to be set up. But the primary expected outcome for this gaming catalyst is to essentially build in talented builders and over the course of 3 years, establish Arbitrum as a de facto leader for on-chain gaming. Specifically, the primary expected outcome is like 400 to 600 applications, 100 to 200 net funded games, win net migrations to Arbitrum versus other layer 2s, as well as 50 plus new orbit launches. And then it will take time to reach this full potential, and setting milestones versus maturity of the program is prudent. And they kind of go through some KPIs over here as well. So how is this going to impact builders, onboarding, and growth, and how is that broken down? So the funding will be allocated towards the following initiatives over the span of a 3-year period. So number 1 constitutes the majority of onboarding and growth with 160 million Arbitrum. And this kind of focuses on attracting and supporting the best game builders into Arbitrum, open to publishers, established studios, and independent builders. So again, this is to attract builders, publishers, and studios. So the use of the funds, this funding is proposed to be reserved for established publishers, game studios, and independent builders to help scale the DAO's ability to attract, secure, and accelerate talented teams on Arbitrum. And the thesis behind this is that we're allocating a large majority of the budget to empower growth of publishers and studios on the chain. So of that, 25 million Arbitrum will be used to empower teams that are aiming to accelerate early stage development or to incentivize user onboarding. So other grant uses may be reviewed on a case-by-case basis, and they kind of break it down such that each grant has a maximum size of 500,000 Arbitrum, and they kind of go over other things as well with regards to the structuring and legal. But the outside of the build grants, investments at 135 million constitutes a very large section here. So teams seeking more than 500,000 not dollars, but Arbitrum tokens or additional funding for development beyond initial development must work with the GCP investment team to align on deal terms. So, again, this kind of goes over publishers submitting multi-game deals for consideration, allowing them to be more efficient and more, strategic with their plans for the ecosystem. And then again, they kind of talk about package proposals where publishers and the GCP team may collaborate to set milestones and how to implement those use of funds essentially. But it kind of goes over. I mean, the majority is for investments, and there's a small section for build grants. But basically, that's the majority of it. So basically, incentivizing builders to come over, and then they also have earmarked around 40 million Arbitrum for infrastructure bounties. So this is for game-specific tech needed to make Arbitrum the best choice for game builders. So again, deals will follow grant investment classifications, et cetera, and they're going to be used for any tooling or infrastructure needed to support gaming within Arbitrum. So anything additional here is kind of outlined here. They kind of go over current gaps, mobile or basically mobile app infrastructure, custom gaming centric implementations, web and game design SDKs, and desktop launchers, game analytics optimization, etc., etc. So they kind of go over those things here, but honestly, that's kind of there's a lot more KPIs and there's a lot of how this is structured in here, but they also kind of go over basically like the team and the program, where they kind of go over phase 1, 2, and 3, which kind of goes over early activations, which is just setting up the legal and the DAO and all that stuff. And they also go over program development, which kind of goes over building the core infrastructure and initiate program activities and tactics. And then, of course, setting that up as well. And then, they start going full steam ahead right after that. But overall, this is massive. I don't know how to really convey this, since it's all just I guess an Arbitrum. It's an idea. Well, okay, this is basically a proposal, but this is pretty big. This is pretty big, guys. It's 200 million Arbitrum, which currently sits at 270 million USD, and we're at the top of our current charts on the cycle. And who knows if they're gonna go up or down? But I mean, honestly, this is really something you should probably read through. Pretty important news. You should probably take a look at. This will probably impact everything inside of the Arbitrum gaming ecosystem. But by all means, it was pretty epic to get the news here from Treasure DAO and to just kind of delve into it. But again, I will have all the links in the description below. Definitely read through it. If you guys are building, let me know as well. That's pretty epic. But I'm pretty excited for the future of Arbitrum, and you should be too. But outside of that, I don't know if I said hit that like and subscribe button, but definitely do that. All the links will be in the description. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.